Hello, they call me Fig, and welcome to Six Figure Shop, where we plant money seeds and harvest the fruits of success. Today, we're going deep into internet security. I will walk you through how to make sure you are completely undetectable when running any sort of internet-based play. This isn't basic stuff, folks. This is advanced protection for serious entrepreneurs. Let's dive in. First things first, what's a proxy? A proxy is an intermediary server that routes your internet traffic through its IP address, masking your real identity and location. Think of it like me shedding my skin and putting on a disguise. Now you might be thinking, Fig, why not just use a VPN? Great question. VPNs actually are proxies. A VPN merely has their list of a few hundred proxies they shell out to everyone. In contrast, proxy companies maintain millions of proxies. They share the same IP addresses across all of their users, which means they have terrible fraud scores. Websites also know those IPs are VPNs, and they flag them immediately. With a proxy, only you have access to that IP address. It's exclusive to you, which keeps your fraud score clean. Now let me quickly touch on the two different ways proxies are distributed and their use cases. Static proxies. These give you the same IP address every time you connect. Think of it like having your own dedicated disguise that never changes. Static proxies are perfect for account management, maintaining consistent login locations, building trust with platforms over time. If you're running a specific account or identity long-term, static is the way to go. Websites see the same person logging in from the same location repeatedly. Totally natural behavior. Rotating proxies. These automatically change your IP address at set intervals or with each request. It's like constantly changing disguises on the fly. Rotating proxies are ideal for web scraping, data collection, avoiding rate limits, and high-volume operations where you don't want to be tied to one identity. The downside? For account-based work, constantly changing IPs can trigger fraud alerts. Not all proxies are created equal, my friends. Let me break down the three main types. Residential proxies. These use IP addresses assigned to real homes. They're virtually indistinguishable from real users because they are tied to actual households. This gives you excellent fraud scores since websites see you as a regular person browsing from home. The gold standard for legitimacy. Mobile proxies. These route traffic through cellular networks. They provide the highest trust levels. Nearly undetectable. If a method mentions using LTE, mobile proxies are your answer. Now, the reason mobile proxies have the best fraud score is also why it's safer to use data than Wi-Fi if you have no proxies and need a hit. The way mobile data and data towers are structured is very similar to how rotating proxies work. In an extremely simplified version, each request is sent from your phone to the best data tower for the request. The result is your traffic appears to a website the same as a rotating proxy would. For this reason, using mobile proxies makes any IP changes normal usage. Data center. These originate from cloud servers. They're the fastest and cheapest option, but they have lower fraud scores since their IPs are registered to hosting companies. Anti-fraud systems can fingerprint and block these more easily. Good for speed, but not for staying under the radar. Remember, make sure you're buying good proxies from reputable providers. Your fraud score plays a huge role in what you can do on the internet. Here's something most people don't know about. Every IP address has a fraud score. Your IP fraud score determines how websites treat you. Websites check. Has this IP been used for spam or fraud before? Is it coming from a data center or residential location? Does it match the geolocation data? How many accounts have logged in from this IP? A high fraud score means you'll face more often and difficult CAPTCHAs, account suspensions, payment blocks, and all sorts of headaches. A clean fraud score? Smooth sailing, baby. All right, so you've got your quality proxies. Now, how do you actually use them? Let me break it down by device because each platform has its own best approach. For iPhone users, download the ShadowRocket app from the App Store. This is the only app that I could find on iPhones that let you use your own proxies without having to jailbreak it. If anyone has a free app for iPhones, please do let me know. For Android users, grab the Super Proxy app. It's designed specifically for Android and makes proxy configuration a breeze. For PC users, anti-detection browsers have built-in proxy management that makes everything incredibly simple. I will dive more into them in a second. Now let's talk about how websites are tracking everything about you. Modern tracking is incredibly sophisticated. Device fingerprinting. Websites collect hundreds of data points from your device. Your screen resolution, installed fonts, canvas rendering, WebGL capabilities, hardware specifications, and more. They combine all this into a unique fingerprint that identifies you specifically. Here's a sneaky one. Websites compare your system time zone with your IP address location. If your computer says you're in New York but your IP says Los Angeles, boom, red flag. Fraud detection systems eat this stuff up. Audio and hardware monitoring. Believe it or not, websites can detect your speakers, microphones, audio equipment, and even how your device renders sound. They use audio context fingerprinting to identify your unique hardware setup. Wild, right? There's too much to even cover, but you get the idea. So how do you fight back against all this tracking? Anti-detection browsers, the ultimate camouflage tool. Regular browsers and VPNs only change your IP address. But we just learned that websites are tracking way more than that. Anti-detection browsers modify hundreds of data points to make each browser profile appear as a completely unique, legitimate device. These browsers manipulate canvas fingerprints, WebGL rendering signatures, font lists, and rendering screen resolution and color depth, time zone and language settings, the list goes on. Why this matters? Modern anti-fraud systems don't just check IP addresses. They analyze behavioral patterns, device consistency, and fingerprint entropy to detect suspicious activity. You need everything to line up perfectly. This is where an anti-detection browser comes in. Anti-detection browser allows you to create and manage multiple isolated browser profiles, each with its own unique fingerprint, cookies, and local storage. This means you can run multiple accounts and identities from the same physical device at the same time, and websites will never be able to link them together. Key features: profile, isolation. Each profile is completely separate with unique fingerprints. Fingerprint synchronization. Automatically matches your OS, browser version, plugins, and hardware specs to your proxy's geographic location. Cookie management. Persistent cookies and session data for each profile. Team collaboration. Share profiles with team members securely. Automation support. When you combine a quality residential or mobile proxy with an anti-detection browser like BitBrowser, you create virtually undetectable browsing sessions. The fingerprint matches your IP geolocation perfectly, and you appear as a legitimate, consistent user rather than someone rotating through spoofed configurations. And there you have it, folks. The advanced security setup that separates the amateurs from the professionals. Most people have no idea how deep this tracking goes, but now you do. And more importantly, you know how to protect yourself. Remember, websites are constantly evolving their tracking methods, so stay educated and stay protected. Invest in quality tools. Cheap proxies and free solutions will get you flagged every time. If you found this helpful, check out the shop. Until next time, stay invisible, stay secure, and keep harvesting those fruits of success.